All right, all set. Let's wait for you guys to come in here. I don't know what that was all about, but there were people in the background. Just waiting for you guys to get in here. Hopefully, a notification goes out. Man, it looks like a notification isn't going out. Damn it. Yeah, it looks like notifications aren't going out. I don't know. Actually, oh wait, here come people. All right. All right, people are starting to come in. Nice, nice. All right, Truth Exposure, what's up? Polarin Message, how you doing? York Vango, what's up, brother? Um, let's see. All right. So some of you guys might be new to the channel, but check out Iggy. How you doing, brother? Um, yeah, the last I don't know that last one. It was like something in the background was playing, and I don't know. I just shut off my phone, turned it back on, and it's gone. So Moonchild, Woken Southern California. Let me see. Kelly Keebo got the wrench. You know what? Yo, Iggy, go ahead. Write something. I dare you. I dare you. Write something, Iggy. Wait for you to write something. All right, so if you guys caught some of my live streams, these last few days, what do you mean it's still not working? You should be able to see me. Yeah, they were in the background. Yeah, they were in the background of mine too. Isn't that weird? But you got that wrench, Iggy. All right, so if you guys have been watching my channel, you guys know that I've been talking about what's going on in the Middle East. Basically, we've been in Syria for a while, right? We've kind of cut out like the northwest part of Syria, and we've been there for a while. Whereas the southwest part of Syria, Russia has that along with the ports, and then they might as well have the southeastern part as well because that Iran they're kind of running it over there. So with all that said, Trump wants us to get out of all these countries. They don't want us, our 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old, our children, our brothers, our, fathers, uncles, whatever it may be. He doesn't want them all going over there, the finest that America has to offer, and then coming back all messed up. So last year he proposed that we pull out. But then it became immediately clear that if we were to pull out, that the Kurds were gonna get slaughtered. And when I say slaughtered, I mean like on a genocide level, slaughtered. And we were talking about this the other night, and I was like really complexed about it because I really don't like us being the police of the world. It just causes people to hate us more. When it comes to radicalism, you can kill the people, but it's hard to kill ideas. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, what are we supposed to do? Just stay over there or leave and let the people who actually fought side and side by us get slaughtered on a genocide level. So when Trump announced that he was pulling out, I was really like perplexed. I'm just like, I don't know if this is a good idea, but then again, like, I mean, at some point we have to leave, right? Well, and I normally agree with Trump's moves and what he does, but in that stream, I was questioning him. I really was. I was like deeply questioning his logic. Like, are we gonna let these people? When we're always talking about, hey, well, why are we over there saving your country? Why don't the men of your country fight? We'll help you with weaponry. but fight for your own country, like we did. Well, there's been a couple of things that have come to light in the past day. Both I was thinking about it, and also I had it um, confirmed to me as well by somebody in the know. And basically, that is that Trump is like, in this situation, especially, like a stable genius, because what he's doing is he's pulling out, and he's been the type on the world stage where if he says something, he means it. He doesn't just say things just to say it. Like if he tells China, well, then guess what? More tariffs, and he'll just keep putting tariffs, no matter how bad our media bashes him. EU, he'll shove them aside, get in front, and tell them the deal. He'll tell Germany what's up. He'll tell France what's up. He'll tell Canada what's up. Our own allies. He'll say, "You guys need to pay up," and he never says anything and doesn't follow it up. If he says it, he means it. Well, when you keep it real like that as a president, the world community takes notice. And when you say something, they take it like it's written in stone. So when he said, and not just said, but did, take our troops out of Syria, and then said, we are not going to intervene, knowing damn well that Turkey was going to go in there because they have, I mean, the beef between the Turkish and the Kurds, it goes way back, like way back. And he knew that as soon as he left, they were going to go in and slaughter them. Well, I didn't feel too good about that because, these people actually fought for their country. Finally, a country that fought for their country. Not Afghanistan, not Iraq, where we've trained them, yet they still can't and won't defend themselves. They just depend on us. At least the Kurds within Syria were doing that. And I didn't like the optics of that, right? Until something dawned on me, and then I had it confirmed. When your word is gold like that, when it comes to war, you can bluff because everybody is going to take your word, like I said, like it's written in stone. And I think that's exactly, I know actually, that's exactly what's going on here. Because what happened? Let's look at the timeline. About 4 days ago, he said, we're pulling out. And not only that, we're not going to intervene. Meaning, if you guys slaughter the Kurds, so be it. It didn't hit my ear right, but that's what he was basically saying. Then he pulls out of there. All of a sudden, I think it was a FF by the CIA, but oil tanker got attacked, and then all of a sudden, bang! Yesterday, 3,000 troops, Saudi Arabia, two Patriot batteries, which are defensive, low altitude defense shoot down missiles at low altitude. Also, a THAAD system, THAAD. So, and that's made. Let me just plug this in the charger. By the way, so the difference between a Patriot missile, a Patriot battery, and the THAAD missile system is that the THAAD is more so for like high altitude nukes. So we have a defense missile system for the high altitude Patriot missiles, which are on the ground. They use radar and they can like take out heat seeking like missiles. The THAAD is more for like serious like nukes and stuff like that. Like I said, also two fighter squadrons and one AEW, which is a air expeditionary wing. put in 3,000 troops, as well as 13,000 to CENTCOM, which is in Qatar, which is not too far away. When I was in, we would go to Bahrain, but now it's in a different spot in Qatar. So, what's he do? He pulls out. Now, before I go any further, let me just remind you guys of something. Back when Obama was president, if you guys ever remember hearing about this guy in the army that was captured by the enemy, I believe. I think he was captured by ISIS actually, either ISIS or Iran, but I think he was captured by ISIS. But the only thing is, he wasn't just captured. He basically, he deserted his own buddies, his brother in arms. He deserted us. He left his people and went, like he had like some like sympathy for ISIS, and he happened to be an army soldier. And sure enough, they didn't treat him with any welcome arms. They captured him, beat him up and all that. And some Navy SEALs had to like go and meet to arrange for some like prisoner exchange. So, and the Navy SEALs were pissed because guess what? Guess what Obama decided to give, Barack Hussein Obama decided to give for a deserter. Now, this is still in America, and I get it. But what we gave the enemy in order to get someone who deserted us in the first place was we gave them their top five Al Qaeda, which is Al Qaeda kind of like a lot of them kind of like it, we put labels on things, but like Al Qaeda becomes ISIS and ISIS becomes this, and it's all like interchangeable like that. But the top five Al Qaeda like officers, their highest ranking people, they all were released back into their own country so we could get this one soldier. And this is probably about 4 or 5 years ago. So we get this one soldier back. He's like a private, like low rank soldier. But I'm all about like, hey, no man left behind. But he was a deserter. He deserted us and got, yes. Someone just said the name. Bergal. Truth Exposer. Good, you got that. But if you look at what Truth Exposure said, that's the spelling, but it's Bagal. So we traded Bagal, and Obama gave them their top five officers to Al Qaeda back, and we haven't seen them since. And they've been organizing and carrying out attacks against our special forces ever since. Okay, so with that said, now we're in this tough position where we don't want to stay in Syria forever because one, it's like one wrong move, it's World War III with Russia right there, Iran right there. We're all in this one little country, and not to mention when you look at the way that all the countries are aligned, it lines up exactly with what the Bible says the end days would look like. But it doesn't just say Syria, Iran. They use their old, the names from back, the biblical names, like Iran would be Persia. Iran's more referred to as Damascus. Israel. Iraq would be Mesopotamia. Russia is actually Gog. Gog, and the leader of Russia is Magog. All this is in the Bible. And one thing that historians always said was, well, there's no way, because like Saudi Arabia, there's no way that, because basically it said that Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Iraq, they would line up against Russia, Iran, Damascus, meaning Syria, Turkey. They just said there's no, and that was the one that was left out for a while. Was everyone said, well, Turkey hasn't joined the other side yet. They're still allies of ours. Well, ever since we pulled out, and Turkey did exactly what Trump basically kind of half-ass warned them not to do, which was not commit genocide against the Kurds who actually fought for their freedom and to have their own land, and they fought side by side with Americans. And I respect that because all these other Middle Eastern countries, we do the fighting for them. These guys did their fighting. We, of course, provide the air support and the heavy artillery, but they actually fought. Okay, so with all that said, it matches up with the Bible, which is freaky in itself because they always said, "Well, how could it ever be that Saudi Arabia would align with Jordan and Iraq and at the same time be aligned with Israel?" And it just doesn't make any sense. Well, that's exactly how it's shaping out. Now, we fast forward to, so yesterday I told you about all the missile systems, the defense, the Patriot batteries, the THAAD missile system, which is more for nukes, Patriot battery, which is on the ground, more for on radar, like lower missiles, as well as 3,000 troops, 13,000 to CENTCOM, which is in Qatar, all that, right? Now this is why Trump's a genius. Remember before how I was saying on the world stage, he has a certain respect. In this country, you wouldn't know it because of the media, but he's respected, and his word means something. You know how many times Obama like said, "This is the red line," and they crossed the red line, he wouldn't do shit about it. Well, if Trump says the red line and you cross it, then you're getting hit, and he's gonna hit you hard. He did it with Assad. He did it with Iran. He's done it with China. He's walked away from the table with China. He's walked away from the table with North Korea. As good as that would look for him to make peace with North Korea, he walked away because it wasn't the right thing for our country. He's even basically been like, fuck you to the EU, because you know what the EU has been doing? Despite our sanctions, they're still buying all the oil and all the products from Iran. So the EU, they're globalists. They're when we say elite and we say they, that's who we're talking about. We're talking about the what used to run our country, these globalists like Obama and Clinton and McCain, and this isn't about right, left, Dem, Republican. McCain was as guilty as any of them. I could tell you stories on McCain as well. I mean, he probably has some of the worst stories. But let's stick to the presidents, right? So so basically Trump announces to everybody, not only are we gonna leave, but we're not gonna intervene. Now, if you have somebody, let's say, that's never told a lie, and when he says something, it's like, you know, you you know, it's like you can cash that check. Well, when you have that reputation, especially in war, you can bluff. And I believe that's exactly what he did. I believe that's exactly what's going on. And this is starting to happen, but this is a theory. Now, this isn't just my theory. I ran it by a source, and they came up with this. They totally agreed. In fact, they said, "Who told you that?" I said, "No one told me that. It wasn't hitting my ear right." And I started thinking about it, and I said, "He's bluffing. He's trying to pull them out into the open," and that's exactly what's happening. Turkey is now, and there's casualties, but In order for any good plan to work, there's going to be casualties, and unfortunately, there are. Turkey is moving in, and they're coming out, and they're coming out into the open, exposing themselves, and so are these Al Qaeda operatives. That sorry, let me just make sure this is charging. I don't want to die on you guys. And so did these Al Qaeda operatives that we let go. I mean, you know how many men died capturing these guys? They're not just five Al Qaeda soldiers. No, they're five Al Qaeda like top brass, like officers. And the word is that they've been lured out along with the Turkish. And yes, they are like attacking civilians. They are doing all this messed up stuff. And then bang, yesterday, all of a sudden, all this artillery, all these defense systems. There's a carrier strike group already over there. That's the more like offensive type of stuff. Whereas we also are kind of protecting our six with the THAAD and the Patriot batteries. And I believe that the whole point of pulling out of there was he realized, what am I going to do this every year? Because if you remember last year, same time last year, it was the same story. He wanted to pull out, but as soon as he would pull out, they would have slaughtered the Kurds. So, what it's looking to shape out as is Trump pulled out, and because his word actually like holds some value, which is more that can be said than most presidents in recent history, all of a sudden they're coming out from under the rocks because they're like, he'll never go back on. He said it and he's done it, so he's not going to go back on it. So now they feel more comfortable. All these Al Qaeda operatives and all these Al Qaeda officers are coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden, along with the Turkish forces, and they're trying to commit genocide. You see that? Kelly Kibo, if you guys want to read her comment, she's pointing out some predictive programming. It's pretty interesting. So, while today we're hearing about, um, this woman in Turkey being dragged out and executed in public, and she was actually like a high-ranking, either like I believe she's like a high-ranking wife of somebody, and they pulled her out and executed her in public. Meanwhile, they are trying to literally slaughter the Kurds. Meanwhile, the Al Qaeda operatives are coming out from under the rocks. They're all coming out to slaughter the Kurds because the Kurds have been basically kicking their ass with our help. And just like that, you could tell you can't just move all that equipment in one. You can't just make up your mind and make it appear in Saudi Arabia. That's what tells me that this was planned. To have two Patriot batteries, to have a THAAD missile system, to have already a carrier strike group, and to have two fighter squadrons and an AEW, air expeditionary wing. Now, all of this basically means war. And I think that the way he looked at it was no one's going to expect in an election year, and especially with his word being what it is, that if he pulls out, he's going to change his mind. Because one thing about Trump is he never apologizes. If he makes up his mind on something, he doesn't really kind of switch it, especially when it comes to, you know, um, foreign policy, and especially when it comes to war. Like when he told Syria, about the chemical attacks. Although that's a little fishy, what might really be behind it, he carried them out. And I think that this is all a ploy. In fact, I had it confirmed as well to bring to lure them out so we could take them out. So over these next couple days, I want you guys to remember that. If it doesn't happen, you can call me a liar, say you predicted and you didn't know shit. You can say it all. But if it happens, just remember where you heard it. Because I'm telling you, this is what I think is going on. It's the only thing that makes sense. He is luring them out. Because if the Al Qaeda operatives, along with obviously their military, is hiding in Turkey, it is a diplomatic nightmare to try to attack them in Turkey. Yeah, our Navy SEALs can go in and try to take out one or two, but it's just not enough. But if we can lure them into Syria, into where it's like free reign, like for instance, Iran, they even had the balls to surround our troops. And that's when we dropped all those bombs on them and killed them all. We killed about 300 to 400 Russians and Iranians in about 2 years ago because they surrounded our special forces. Now, so far, there's been one American casualty, a parachuter from the Air Force that I've heard of. I mean, this is a dynamic situation, so it's changing every minute. But the last I heard, there was one casualty, a parachute, a parachute paratrooper, Air Force, Special Forces guy, and he was killed. There was also some an incident. At first, I read it. The first report said that it was equipment failure. Now they're saying it was an incident with some artillery and there was some injuries. Well, my bottom line with this is that Trump is luring them out. And then now that he has them in Syria, out of Turkey, which is a diplomatic nightmare, we're going to attack. We're already set up not that far away in Saudi Arabia. And we're also set up in other places as well, as far as special forces go, in Iraq. And we can hit them from both sides, make them fight on both fronts, and take them out. Do what, well, we should have never had to do this. As far as the Al Qaeda operatives go, we should have never had to go through this. But, Obama put this in the situation to save a deserter. Someone who deserted his own countrymen. You know? Now, when it comes to Turkey, it becomes a little bit more complicated because that's an actual military that we're not friends with, but we're kind of allies at the same time. It's like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, even though we don't like each other. That's where it gets interesting. That's where it could kind of get funky. And like I said, with the whole biblical thing, the one thing that they've been saying for years, how what's going on in the world today matches up with the Bible, except that Turkey is aligned with us and they're not supposed to be. Well, this would fulfill that prophecy. So that's my take on this whole situation going on in Syria. Also, this whole whistleblower thing, it just came out, and you know what? I'll even put in the chat. Can I? Can I put it in there? Well, maybe I can't do it live. Shit. All right, I'll put it in after. But the whistleblower, the new whistleblower, just days before he came out, Brennan, the former head of the CIA, put something out, and he said, "Well, CIA created ISIS, yes, but if you want to get even more particular, um, oh, Mel, yeah, Mel, if you want to get even more particular, do you know what ISIS and all those dudes, you know what they called McCain? They used to call him the Godfather because he basically there's pictures of him sitting with al-Baghdadi, the head of the caliphate, and all their head generals. Um, that's real. He basically did create ISIS along with, and you're correct, CIA under the direction of Obama. So a lot of shady stuff we've been doing, but now we actually have a president who actually cares. I'm Matt, although he was talking to a different Matt before, so he might be talking about someone else. So, anyways, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, the whistleblower. So, Brennan, he was the old CIA director. Well, it turns out this new CIA whistleblower, or the first CIA whistleblower, I'm sorry. Turns out he was CIA. He didn't have firsthand knowledge of the phone call. And he came out after Brennan said, if there's any whistleblowers out there, you should come out. And this guy comes out, claims he has firsthand knowledge, claims that there's a, quid pro quo, which there wasn't, which means that basically he said, you do this or else this. He never did that, but he claimed he did. Right away, even CNN, after they pumped it up and made it a huge story, after a few days, they were saying, "Oh well, yeah, well, he didn't have firsthand knowledge, but there's a second whistleblower, and he has firsthand knowledge." Now, this is just a theory. This is just my opinion. If it's fact, I'll tell you it's fact. If it's an opinion, I'll tell you it's opinion. But it's my educated opinion. It's not just an opinion. I think this second whistleblower might be Bolton. And if you don't know Bolton, he's a warmonger. Um, Iran hates him. North Korea hates him. Americans hate him. I mean, he's the one who dragged us into the war with Iraq. He's dragged us into all kinds of wars. So, either he's really coming out against Trump because supposedly the situation with the second whistleblower is that he had firsthand knowledge, which means he's either one of the handful of intelligence officers that were actually listening to the phone call, the vice president, the translator, or the national security advisor, which he was. And it makes perfect sense. He was fired right after, except firing him actually it was like a multi-purpose reason for firing him. When they fired him, North Korea agreed to come back to the table because they basically called him warmonger in chief. They hated him, and they do hate him. Same thing with Iran. They can't stand Bolton. So it's like, there's so many reasons why you would want to get rid of him. Yet at the same time, this is where it's opinion and it's not fact. Was it all along a plan, or is Bolton really trying to blow the whistle on Trump because he's salty because he got fired? I think that despite his past, he can see which way the wind's blowing. He made a deal. He agreed to go along with this, and that's how it's gonna go down. And that basically it's all a setup to discredit the left even further. That's what I think. But it very well could be that he just hates Trump, and really he's not a respected man so much, and I don't see it going anywhere. The Republicans have the Senate. It's all BS. It doesn't really make much sense to me. Oh, and by the way, that first whistleblower, that CIA asset I was telling you about? He ended up being that first whistleblower. Turns out that he had some skin in the game. He was working for one of Biden's companies. Um, he had a direct conflict of interest because he was working for one of Biden's companies. Now, when I say Biden, I'm pretty sure it's actually the son. He was working for that company, but actually, it might even be the actual former vice president. Running for president now, Biden. But either way, huge conflict of interest there. So when you put all of this together, as far as the whistleblower situation, it's not going anywhere. It's only going to, yeah, he is a warmonger, Rebecca. It's only going to hurt them because it's going to embolden the right. Like, really, you're trying to impeach him when he's doing things and having the balls that other presidents just haven't in the past? I mean, this would have been, and put it this way: if I'm wrong about this whole thing with Turkey, this would be the second thing that I strongly criticize him for. The first thing is he didn't stop 5G in its tracks when he could have. And this is the last thing I'm going to say. Also, I think that there's a financial reset coming. There's so many different things pointing to us getting out from under the Federal Reserve, because you think Federal Reserve, you think the United States government, right? No. The Federal Reserve is basically owned by bankers, and that's it. We had a president back in, I think it was like, don't quote me, but it's close to, it's like 1912 or something like that, and he sold us out and sold out our Federal Reserve to these bankers. And these bankers, kind of like the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, they're really like, they're real good at tricking people. Like, for instance, the way that they really got a lot of power is there was one Rothschild. He had 5 sons. He sent his 5 sons, one to America, one to France, one to England, one to Italy, one to Germany. I believe that's. Oh no, one went to Russia. So I think that the not one of them came to America. So instead of America, one went to Russia. Okay. So he would do dirty things like Britain was in a war with Germany. Britain was winning, but back then you don't know who's winning until it's over. I mean, it's not like technology today where I'm sitting in Boston, I talk, you guys hear me, and you guys can write, and we communicate. It's boom, boom, boom. We know what's going on as it goes. Back then, he came back with the news: Germany won, Germany broke their ranks, and Germany's going to win the war. Well, all these Englishmen started selling all the war bonds. They started selling them, selling basically the currency of their country. And the Rothschilds bought all of them for like a tenth of a penny on a dollar. And that is how they became literally like the richest family by far in the world. That's I mean, they already were like filthy rich, but they became like rich to the point where it's like, we're the United States of America. We're the most powerful country. Who do we owe debt to? We've won all these, like every world war and every conflict. We're the most powerful. Who do we owe money? We owe it to China? Do we owe, like, who do we owe money to? We owe the money to the bankers because we don't own our own Federal Reserve because of Woodrow Wilson. And it's disgusting. Yeah, yeah. And Lloyd Baca, he's correct as well. Now, that's not to say that all Jews are automatically evil. No. But I think there's a lot of anti Semitism that comes from the fact that, you know, a lot of dirty tricks were played by bankers who happen to be Jewish as well. It doesn't mean that like all Jews, that's where I draw the line. I don't believe that. Like that's a false statement to say. But it's just when you have a family this powerful, it's bound to, especially like back in the 40s, 30s, it's bound to be spread and propagandized and carried out by countries like Germany's and the Nazis. And we were talking about the Nazis the other day. I don't know if some of you guys know this. I'll bring it up now. Did you guys know that Russia got to Berlin first, right? Do you know who was defending Berlin? Well, all their soldiers were basically either dead, captured, wounded, whatever. They had this thing called the Hitler Youth. And these kids, these 12-year-old kids, held Berlin for days against Russia on the Eastern Front, America, Australia, and England on the Western Front. And they held it, 12-year-old kids. The last photograph and video of Adolf Hitler was giving medals to these children. And they're all like, half of their head blown off, missing arms, missing legs. I mean, they're blown up and they're proud and they're getting pinned with medals. And that was the last time he was seen. And then he went and killed himself, right? Well, that's debatable. The Russians said that they found his body. I'll get to PG&E. The Russians said that they found his body, right? Well, it turns out that years later, once they had the capability to do DNA testing, when they tested the body that they have been claiming for all that time was Hitler, it turned out to be a 35-year-old female, which must have been his girlfriend at the time, Eva Braun. So what happened to Hitler? Well, if you guys want to watch one of my videos, it's called Red Pilled, and it's like, all these different titles in it, and you'll see something about like Nazis in South America. And when I say in South America, I mean in particular in Argentina and Chile. We're talking like 50 to 100 communities with like a couple 100,000 Germans. Now, a lot of them got there in like the 1860s and 70s, but a whole, like the other half basically got there in 1 year, 1945, and they showed up there. And we're not talking low-ranking Nazis that had no choice. No, we're talking the officers. In fact, the one of the sickest Nazis and most dedicated Nazis who would do the sickest stuff, he'd be the one who carried out experiments on twins, Jewish twins and or disabled twins, or he torture one and see if the other one feels it, and just I don't even want to repeat some of this stuff. I mean, you guys can look it up if you want. Just I warn you, it's pretty tough to read. Well, that guy, do you know how he died? He died in Argentina writing a journal on the beach with a Brazilian girl less than half his age who was said to be one of the most beautiful Brazilian girls there were. Just laying back on the beach, getting his schwauzer taken care of by this young Brazilian girl, and lived till old age and died of old age. And they say that Hitler potentially died the same way because they never actually found his body. I mean, that's what happens. The Russians, they have shoddy science. They have shoddy, they lie a lot. Everything's about the state. They're willing to, withhold truths in order to make themselves just basically look better for optics. I mean, that's what communist countries do. It's all about the state. It's not really about facts or anything like that. So to this day, people don't know where his body is. Yet there are hundreds of thousands of Germans and Nazis in Argentina and in Chile. I just thought I'd tell that story because I just find it fascinating. I think it's freaking crazy And I could go through like to become an SS soldier, some of the stuff they go through. It's amazing. I find it's just crazy. Now somebody mentioned PG&E. Here's something crazy about PG&E. I was talking about PG&E with a source literally all day the first day because they kept on shutting his power off. And he lives in Northern California, like up in like the foothills and mountains. He lives up there. And they were saying, well, there's going to be a fire and we have to do it. But after Paradise with the DEW weapons and all that, people are so fed up with PG&E that they need armed security whenever they're out working. In fact, just the other day, right before the fire started, people were shooting at them. They were shooting at the employees, and after all this warning of a fire in Northern California, so basically people imagine right now people shut off their lights. They're like, "Hey, we have to be safe. We just got to be safe. We have a bad reputation, and we blew up a whole city. And although if you look at the trees, there's like a in the middle. There's like a circle, like a from like a directed energy weapon going right up the middle of the tree. But the outside, you can see all the bark, and it's not burnt at all. But yet, not one house stands. Makes no sense. It defies logic. Well, so they're trying to supposedly prevent these fires from happening again up in Northern California, the mountains, the foothills. Well, all of a sudden, this one particular morning, a couple days ago, the wind picked up drastically. They cut the power to Northern Cali, and all of a sudden, Southern California, not they said Northern California was at risk. That's why they were shutting the power off up there. But it turns out there was more nefarious reasons for them doing that. All right? Southern California is where it burned. That's where the fires popped up all over the place. And that's the situation that we're in right now. And I mean, who here is in California? Does anybody want to like kind of give us like a first-hand um because I've talked to a couple people that are on the ground down there, a couple in Northern Cali. I talked to one person in Southern Cali, and they said it was really bad, these fires. But in Northern Cali, they've been shutting off their lights. In Southern Cali, they're thinking the problem's up north, and all of a sudden, this one morning, the fires are right there with them. Now, I've heard different rumors, like, well, they're actually wiping out a bunch of dope and gangs, and it's actually strategic, and they are using dual weapons, but this time it's the Patriots using them. But I can't prove that. So, but that is somebody that knows what he's talking about. Did talk to me about that. Actually, Iggy, that's why I was late for the stream. I was talking to somebody about that exact subject, and he was going on and on about the human trafficking, the drugs, and that was part of the reason why they did that. So, and part of the reason why they kind of, it's like, hey, look up here, Northern California, and like punch you in the balls in Southern California. I mean, but supposedly it was supposed to be Patriots, but I don't know. I can't prove that. Mel Hardy. I suspect that because they know the fires were planned in PG&E before, I think they wanted the optics to appear as though they aren't now. Whatever the cause, just my opinion. Makes sense. I mean, you're on the right. You're thinking exactly the way you should be thinking. They're telling you one thing. Well, why? Okay, well, it makes sense that they would be telling me that, so I wouldn't think that where the fires actually happen, that it's their fault, nor would I think that they didn't do everything they could to prevent it, right? It's like It's a dirty, dirty game. I hold out some hope that it is Patriots in control, that this is really more about human trafficking and drugs, but this is on such a large scale. I hate to even like deny a source. It's just it's tough. It's tough to believe. Just five explosions at the same time that started these fires is not a coincidence. Yes, and Becca Morrison, when those explosions happened, you know what happened? Immediately. I watched a video, and this guy has all these instruments hooked up. And one of them is like a wind. It can measure the wind, right? The wind went from zero to like through the, like in the red, just like that. Now I've been told that that's common in the morning, but I've never seen anything like this. Literally, I watched it live. He goes, "Just watch this," and he showed where the instrument was. He goes, "Watch the wind just go from nothing to howling." And it's as soon as what you're talking about, those explosions happened. So it makes me think that it was on purpose. I'm just trying to figure out, was it on purpose in a nefarious way, which is what it feels like, or was it nefarious, or was it not nefarious and was actually patriots trying to, stop some human trafficking, maybe carry out some missions and do whatever they got to do? Because I think that there's a reason that they called it Red October, and we're in it right now. Um, it seems less likely, however, that is a trusted source who said that. Um, let's see what else you guys say. Last 2 days of very very high winds, not common, and you're in. So that's what I'm saying. It was. That's what I'm trying to say. The winds were crazy, and they were especially crazy when it first when those explosion happened. That I'm sorry, I missed your name there. I forget your name, Becca. Um, right after those explosions, that's when the winds picked up like crazy. Iggy. Oh, what happened to Iggy? Oh, there, I'm back. What up, Iggy? Something about linking up the bunkers. Well, for those of you who don't know, like you guys know, all right, put it this way: in the 1940s, World War II, it became obvious that not only Europe but Japan, China, all these countries had these vast underground tunnel systems that, I mean, I'm talking vast. Yet they're old, 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 ancient countries. We're like the new country, freshly built. And here we are in 2019, going on 2020. You don't think that we have some vast underground system, underground cities? I talked to truck drivers who have driven this truck route that is underground all the way. And they have Starbucks down there where they could stop, they could take a piss, like a rest stop. And it's all underground. I've heard this from truck drivers over and over and over again. About three different truck drivers have told me the same story. They all match up. There's Starbucks. There's places you can go piss. It's like an interstate except you're underground, and they lead from these like underground cities to underground cities. The DUM bunkers and all of it, the whole 9 yards. You worry me, dude. Yes. Sorry, but I happen to know what I'm talking about. But some of it is like opinion. Like for instance, let me see. Like my theory with the impeachment. That's a theory, an educated theory, but it's still a theory. But everything else I said, it's all based in fact or sources. Um, Wait, what's going on? Moonchild. Hey, Moonchild, your life matters. Every life matters. We're all children of God. I know that sometimes it's like hard to believe, especially like with the way things are in this world. We're all children of God. And I don't mean to put you on the spot. I'm sorry, but I saw somebody kind of saying like, "Hey, don't say that." I just want to let you know, like, yeah, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but don't feel like that, please. Yeah, yeah. New Mexico, New Mexico is crazy with dumb bunkers. They have a bunch of DUMs. What's up with New Mexico? Honestly, the first thing I think about with New Mexico, if you guys want to watch like an old video, I covered Epstein like before he even died. I covered all his flight logs, his black books. A lot of people, there's probably a lot of people in here who were there for that, but we're talking the. I went over. We were cracking all the names in his flight logs, the names in his black books, the whole 9 yards. Then we went through his court records, and it was like the interrogation of the girl who was claiming all this stuff, and it was. I mean, it was one of the most disturbing yet revealing documents I ever like read in my life. Hannibal was there for that. Let me see who else. Sailor Spirit was there for that. I'm pretty sure Sailor Spirit was there for that. A few of you were there for that. I know a bunch of you came over from Iggy's channel. But yeah, and anyways, about him, everyone knows about, St. James, aka Epstein Island, right? And then he had the $70 million mansion in New York City that someone just handed to him. But he also had this ranch in Zorro, they call it literally Zorro, New Mexico, where I guess they like carried out like scientific experiments. Some of like the most disturbing stuff. And we're talking, disturbing stuff, and we're talking in relation to something called Pedophile Island. But we're talking like doing experiments on people, like what's going on in New Mexico, at that ranch of his. Um, yeah, you were there, right? Wasn't that crazy? We were cracking all these names left and right, left and right, and I hate to tell you, but some of your favorite actors, some of your favorite politicians. Um, if you guys want to go back, it's like anything with Epstein in it, besides the last one when he dies. Um, the picture for that one is just like a picture of like it's like a silhouette of a guy hanging himself. But if you click on the one that's a picture of his dead body, I had like the actual picture of his dead body that one of the paramedics took. Another one is just like it looks like a beach, says Red Pill Dispensary, and um, Islands, Names, and Games, I think is the name of it. But really interesting stuff. Um, see what else we got. Yeah, Olga, you were there. Yep. How you doing, Olga? I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, those were some crazy nights, right? We were exposing that shit because I would go online and like half of this stuff other people had figured out because it was really tough to read this pilot's handwriting, but the other half it just said unintelligible. And literally I would find it nowhere. We were the only ones, and I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about just the audience. They were cracking names. Kelly Keeble was in it. She cracked a bunch of names. It was great. It's very interesting videos. They're very long, but they're very telling as well. You can listen to the whole court documents. You can watch, us breaking the flight logs, and then once we get the name, we look it up, and then we figure out what they're all about. And it turns out every single one of them, it's like, oh, this is the executive producer of the, the Oprah's channel, Oxygen, or, this is the owner of some sports team. It's like a who's who, except, people wonder where his wealth came from. I think he was Mossad. Um, but kind of like a double agent. But we've always been kind of friendly with Israel. But I think he was Mossad first, but he was also CIA. And basically, his job was, because he was a creep and he was into like young girls and all that, big time creep, and he got what he deserved, if that's the real story. Um, his job was to compromise people. You bring people down. It's like, hey, what's your, it's like a billionaire's fantasy island. Whatever you want. It's like lawless down here. I got you. Oh, I like little girls. All right, then you got it. Like that's, I mean, these billionaires. That's how they do it. It's pretty bad. Um, Also, that actually just made me think also of something else too. Um, Shoot, I lost my train of thought. I think someone said something that made me think of it. Yeah, Hannibal, you were there. Yeah, that was nuts. Yeah, nobody was. Yep. And then all of a sudden, what happened the next day? We woke up and he killed himself. Freaking nuts. Oh yeah, yeah. The As far as like being a ham radio operator, yeah, they're gonna make it difficult on you, but it's still possible. You can do it. I know that Shauna knows a lot about that. Um, she used to like do lessons on all that. You ever see Podesta's? Oh yeah, it's wicked creepy, wicked creepy. The Podesta's art gallery. Well, what about Marina? She's like actually like, even though she's like not like that well known, like in our society, she is like the head priestess of spirit cooking. I don't know if you guys ever seen the video where she builds a golem. She throws like blood on it, and supposedly, I don't want to like give you guys the recipe, but it's a truth to channel, so whatever. Cut your left finger, use breast milk, period blood, and urine, and mix them up, and all this stuff. And supposedly you can spare cook and all that, blah blah blah. All right, I don't even want to say the whole thing because it's pretty disturbing. Marina Abramovich. Some sick, crazy stuff. Yeah, like if you look her up, you'll know it's her if you hit images and you see her with goat horns or ram horns over her head, or holding heads with Jay Z, doing like some spare cooking thing. Um, and you know what? You know what? They let her get away with it. No one questions it because they say, "Oh, it's art. That's art. That ain't art. That ain't art. That's straight Satanism in your face." And they know that in today's culture, you can get away with anything if you just call it art. You know. Yeah, New Mexico is a huge child sex trafficking spot. Arizona is a huge one as well. I don't know if does anyone here remember those guys in Tucson, Arizona. They were veterans on patrol, VOP, and they climbed a tower with guns and refused to come down until they had cadaver dogs come down. But like idiots, they came down because they trusted the mayor of the town, who sent the one of the police from that city, and it was owned by CMEX, who have big time crazy ties to the Clinton Foundation And supposedly that's how they would dispose of some of their enemies' bodies, some of the children's bodies. Yeah, sick. And yeah, even and by the way, guess who that mayor is? By the way, you won't believe it. A Rothschild. Look it up right now. Who's the mayor of Tucson, Arizona? Mel. I made the same mistake. I thought he was Native American. He's not. I just thought he was because of the picture, right? Yeah, you're not actually Native American, right? I remember I asked you and you were like, no, I'm not Native American. But I thought that. But why? Is something wrong with your kidney, bro? I saw what you wrote before about like you were in so much pain. Clinton in the blue dress. How you doing, Pink Poppet? Good to see you here. We just been going over like some random stuff, stuff that we've gone over back in the day. Were you around? We were going over the Epstein stuff and all that. Politics and Hollywood. Yo, it's so funny. Like I thought you would just wrote Hollywood, and I was just gonna say Hollywood. That's funny. You just actually wrote it how I was gonna say it. Oh, never mind. High risk kidney and renal failure. Over the line, oh, wow, that's interesting. But if I remember correctly, oh, my bad, Hannibal. For some reason I thought that I asked you if you were Native American. You said you weren't. I just my bad. Maybe I'm mixing it up with something else. Let me see. MGTOW forever. I've seen you around. I know where you chill, but welcome. You see how that goes? Yeah, Abramovich. For control purposes, yeah. It is gross. Yeah. In the name of witches and wizards, warlocks. All that crap's real. I couldn't believe for the longest time. Her and her minions, reservations at the Cannibal Club in LA. Alright. Alright. Hottie's woke. Okay. Yes, I followed them doing all that for quite a while. Yeah, Kelly. Kelly and I have uncovered more crazy stuff. Anybody have any questions? Any like topics? Anything like that at all? Um, normally I'd like take calls or something. Oh, good for you, Polaris message. You got the CB. Nice. My barefoot CB. 900 million judicial watch. Whoa, Dan the man. Where from where? I haven't heard. I mean, I betcha. Are you talking about Haiti? I'm trying to think of when a number that high, because that's basically a billion. You're talking about Haiti, right? It's got to be Haiti. Yeah, Cemex is cement, but it's not just cement. Porch Creek Indian, bro. Okay. And where's that out of? Like, where's like the most common place to find? Because actually, like my best couple of my best friends growing up were Native American, but they were Chippewa, and the other one was what's the one? Actually, I think Chippewa is also in Canada, but they were both like Canadian tribes. So even though they were like basically 50%, one was 50%, the other one was 25% Native American, they couldn't get any of like the bennies that you would get as an American, being Native American. They didn't get any of it because it's really like a Canadian Native American tribe. So that's why I asked. Oh yeah. The Pope had all kinds of like cryptic tweets about concrete. And also when you look up, guys, if you really like, I would like write some of this stuff down. Like write down CMEX. Like really like research them, research their locations, research their connections to the cartel. Um, they're big in Florida as well. The Pope had all kinds of shady like tweets about cement that it was like no relevance. It's like he went out of his way to mention cement, kind of like the same way like Comey and Brennan and Shifty Shift, and even though he's a good guy to expose them, Nunez all went out of their way to mention corn. Well, corn is just NROC backwards, and NROC is the National Reconnaissance Operations Center, which is basically all these satellites that they got in the sky that it actually took a while for the administration to figure out, which is what I'm hearing. It took them like a good 6 months to figure out that the deep state still held control of these satellites, and that was their eyes and that was their communications. And it wasn't really until August 15th that they took out Coates. And actually, if you guys follow Q, he says his last post ever is in parentheses C, and then Coates for C, comes before D in parentheses, D class. So Coates comes before D class, but with the C in Coates and the D in D class in parentheses, meaning C comes before D, meaning Coates will be replaced before we D class the FISA abuse. Sure enough, people never heard of the head of the DNI, but yet in August 15th of just 2 months ago, they replaced DNI Coates. They replaced him with McGuire, who's the acting DNI, and all of a sudden, that's all you hear about is, well, the only way is since the IG, the IG recommended this, but it's really up to the DNI. And people never used to hear about the head of the DNI. Now the head of the DNI is like a everyday uh, thing on the news. And I mean, what a coincidence, right? I mean, when you really think about it, they said future will prove past, and it's happening. Which is why I believe thoroughly in what I was saying earlier about what I think is going to happen with Turkey, and that Trump has kept his word for so long that it's like his word is his bond, but when it comes to war, he'll bluff if it means gaining an upper hand, luring them out into the open where there's no diplomatic bullshit in Turkey, and just taking them out. And I think that's what's going to happen. There's no way he's going to. I just can't see him letting these Kurds get slaughtered. And two, I can't see that being his master plan. And we say Trump, but we're talking the brightest minds in the United States coming up with ideas. and that's the best they can come up with. Just leave and let the finally the one group of people that actually like fought get slaughtered on like a genocide level. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Um, what else we got? In Alabama. Yeah, Amanda's. I'm Portuguese and Irish, and Amanda's Portuguese and black. So that's what's up. Red Eagle. Yeah, my boy, he has a tat on his back, the one I was telling you about in the Chippewa tribe. But he loved Sitting Bull and who's the other one? I can't remember right now, but he had one of their faces on each side, Sitting Bull and someone else. I can't think of the second one. Yins had that PA vibe. Yins. Ugh. Is that what MGTOW stands for? Men going their own way? Or is that just, yo, this is what I'm saying. Kelly Kebo knows her shit. You see that what she put back up in classified 420? She knows her shit. She's the best researcher. Her and one other, they're just amazing research. They're equally amazing researchers, in my opinion. Um. Oh wow, nice. Polarin. Becca, you said heard Russia too. What was that in context to? I might be a little bit behind. Maybe I should. Oh man, I just don't want to miss all those texts. I need to catch up though. So hey, if you guys want to give this a try, right? If somebody wants to try to call in, I'll see what happens if I try to take a call. But if my memory serves me, usually I'm on a laptop and I'll do a whole show. You know what I mean? There'll be graphics, the whole nine yards. I'll have the mic, and then I take calls on the phone. But this computer isn't set up yet. QAnon is a hoax according to We Are Change. Well, I mean, a lot of people feel like that. Um, it's just I spend so many hours. I'm not willing to call it a hoax until after the election. Um, so we don't have that much longer to wait, and then it's final. But if you gotta really look at the small things. You know, that guy Buck. He got caught with uh, dead gay dudes, and then you look at all these random occurrences that have been happening lately, and it's just when you go back and you read Q. By the way, if anybody's like not familiar with Q and they want to like read, you could even like type in any word and just search and learn about anything you want. I would suggest Q anon, so QANON dot pub. So QANON dot pub. Who is the Wendigo? Satan. It sounds so familiar. Did someone just who just said they're Portuguese? Pink Papa, you half Portuguese? It makes sense. It makes sense. I knew I liked you. I never made someone a mod that quick. Tribes are some of the only tribes and natives that weren't forced out of the salt. Big battle against Reg Eagle. Wow. So that must have been like early on if they were like, oh, but they weren't forced out of the salt. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this country has a messed up history, right? And Sarah Smile saying goodnight. Is that what that is? Well, I saw him saying it. So, good night, Sarah Smile. Let's see. Oh, thank you. And have a great night. And come by anytime. Be happy to have you here. Um, all right, so Red Bull, yeah, the push Greek side with the U.S. I've never heard. I don't know much about that stuff. I know about like the tribes up here, and I know about like the tribes down by Texas and the tribes up towards Canada, just because like I said, two of my best friends grew up and they were from that tribe. I don't know much about like the down south tribe. That's interesting. And Red Eagle fought them though. Did he live? Oh wow. You grew up in Hawaii too, Pink Poppet? I lived in Wahiwa for 2.5 years. And you know Wahiwa. Wahiwa was like the ghetto in Oahu. Were you on the island of Oahu? To me, I found it to be like an amazing place to visit, like the best. Awesome. But like living there for 2.5 years. Now this hurt like the country boys more than it did like the city boys like me. But we would get like island fever. Like it like mess with you knowing that no matter which direction you go, you're gonna hit water. In just so many miles. Um, the city guy didn't really mess with me as much as it did like the guys from like Kansas and stuff like that. They would legit get island fever. Um, that was like a real like problem. Oh, your father was in Vietnam, Hammerhide, and Pink Puppet. My dad was too. That's crazy. A lot of similarities, Pink Puppet. So you live in Hawaii. I live in Hawaii. You grew up there. I didn't grow up there, but I lived in Wahiwa. And my father fought in Vietnam, and he was 100% Portuguese, whereas I'm half Portuguese. It's crazy. He was a well, but that's what I'm saying though. He was a great warrior. You know, I mean, you're up against it. It's like a whole new weaponry. Um, and plus, like you said, the Porsche. I don't know the correct pronunciation, but the Porsche tribe. I'm assuming a Porsche tribe. They're Native Americans as well, and they were great fighters, trackers. Um, Red pill for my kids live in Sharon. Wow. Yeah, you know what? All right, this is getting a little weird because my dad was Air Force too. He was stationed in the Philippines, and he would go over to Vietnam, and they would do what they got to do and go back to the Philippines, and then back to Nam, and then back to the Philippines. That's freaking crazy. I'm not even joking. So, lived in Hawaii, Porgy, father's in the Air Force, and there was like a couple other things too. That's crazy. Small world. Well, I was in a military brat because my dad was like much older. Like my father. Like I'm 35. Normally, if your father's a Nam, you're close to the 50. You know. So my father just had a second marriage and had me and my brothers. I've heard about Brian Austin and 333, but yeah, I think the Brian Austin sounds familiar. Brian Austin Lambert. I it's familiar, but I can't. I know I've seen it, but I would probably get it mixed up with something else. He talks a lot about the occult. Yeah, and with the occult, it's all about they're like there must be like some kind of rule with the symbolism. You know what I'm saying? Like basically like the symbolism. It's almost like they have to show the symbolism in order for their black magic and their their spells and what they do to work. And for some of you guys who don't know about this stuff, I understand. It sounds crazy. It sounded crazy to me at first. I thought that I was listening to a bunch of crazy people when I first heard them talking about it. Until I started like studying up on it. The shit's legit, and I think there's something to it where they almost have to let you know. Maybe because of free will, maybe because of some kind of um, spiritual, not unwritten, but like written rule that they almost kind of have to show their symbolism to communicate and for the magic to have effect on us with free will. Um, like the Bible says, be wise as a serpent and innocent as a dove. Um, thank you, Mel. You have a great night too. And I appreciate you stopping by. Your uncle was in Vietnam, Army medic, helicopter. Ooh. And he died from Agent Orange. Wow. I was gonna say, like, an Army medic in Vietnam, that must have been one of the most, like, horrific. Yeah, me too. My father, grandfather, two uncles, and that's it. But we have Army. We have everything but no Marines in my family. That's the only thing. Air Force, Navy, and two Army. Oh yeah, I wasn't even close to born. My dad was in No way. I was born way after that. Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. Helicopter gun in Vietnam. He got shot down. Jungle time. Crazy. Survived the chopper wreck. What? 3 chopper wrecks? Normally, you never make the chances of surviving one, especially a chopper wreck. It's like uh, the chances are very slim. Speaking of Nam, right? Um, I keep losing my train of thought. Hold on, give me a second. Does somebody want to try to call? I'd love to take calls. You guys know your stuff. I love it. I wanted to talk about something in Nam. A couple of red pills. Very interesting stuff. Nam was crazy. Hold on, I'll find it later. Here, somebody wants to call me. Yeah, I'll just say it. 774-303-5555. I didn't get the tweet, Serenity, but I mean, I wouldn't be able to check it just because I'm on the phone, not the laptop. But I'll check it right after. What is? What is? Just tell me. Just tell me. Just write it here, cause if I leave here, then you know what I mean. What's happening? Just gonna grab a lighter. All right, all right, all right. So it's happening again. All right, you see that? What did we say earlier? And did what was her name? She was talking about it. Becca and Mel. Yeah, Mel. Becca and Mel was saying that exact thing too. So Serenity just said the fires in Southern California were set to burn out dumbs. And if you guys don't know what that is, that's basically like, these underground bunkers. Um, no power for LiDAR to track them down. Wow. That's crazy. But they could wait. Doesn't it? We were just talking about that, Serenity. Did you know that? Because I didn't see you in chat. I mean, I think I might have saw you earlier, but I haven't seen you like in a while, I don't think. So you guys hear that? And poof. Yeah. Speculation? No. No, 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 no. Yeah, Serenity just got here. Serenity, we were just talking about that. We were literally just talking about that. It's like look up in Northern California, and they're shutting off the power to prevent these fires. It's always that. Look over here, and then they kick you in the balls down there. Although my theory, I said, and I said it's a theory. I didn't say it's fact. I said it's a theory, but I think it's patriots. And we're actually going after these underground facilities, these dumb bunkers, things like that, right? And there's more. You know what? I would love for someone to try to call. I want to see if I can take a call while I'm live on the phone. Um, so 774-303-5555. Yes, it is. Whoever just texted me, yes. I just want to see if I can take a call while live without it like messing up. Yeah, when Trump had that Moab dropped a while ago, there was a bunch of really drawn to kill an infestation of giants. I never heard that one. Wow, that's crazy. I never heard that. All right, here we go. So let me see if. All right, guys. So yeah, it's not letting me connect while taking calls, but I just took a couple calls real quick. Got a little intel. I noticed we lost some people. Yeah, it was buffering because I was trying to take calls. So let me remedy this. I'm gonna grab a dummy phone. Hold on 1 second. Where might it be? Where's a good place to look? Huh? You don't know where that phone is? Huh? Damn, man. I don't think this is it. Motherfucker. Shit. I can't find the phone right this second. Hold on, I'm gonna keep looking though. You guys keep talking. I wanna know what's going on in Southern California. I wanna find this phone, that way I can start taking calls. Um Let's see what we got. Yeah, as far as the Giants, Hammer High, who shows up and takes them, and they've been doing it since the 1800s, is the Smithsonian. Smithsonian's been hiding giants forever, um, or else that makes the wow, really close. Or else the power becomes too realistic, I guess. Why is it doing that? It's weird. Hold on, sorry guys. All right, big head. All right, trying to see what we got here. Yeah, she's not feeling good, so I'm like, where's the phone? Where's the phone? She can't answer. You have no idea where the phone might be? Huh? The other phone? Huh? And that's the charger for it? Come on. Damn. Fuck, man. Figures. I didn't even set up that fucking laptop. That's the problem. Let's see what you guys are saying. I really take calls, but there's no way I can do it. Where's Serenity? I know I'm looking, but thing is, it's her phone, and it's like honestly, she could be laying on it. Like that's how like sick she feels right now. Oh wait, is this it? Or is this the one I just? Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck to do. There's no way. There's no way you can type. It's too long to type. Start a fucking charger. I have no idea what to do. Oh, look at this. I found this outside. I actually saw the guy wearing it, and he took it off and stomped on it, and I picked it up. It is. It's a "Make America Great Again" hat. It said, except it says "Make baseball great again." Stupid, I know. Today I seen him outside. He was like stomping on it, and I thought it was like an actual "Make America Great" hat, but he crossed out America and wrote baseball. So I don't know. I guess that's the respect they have, but. Thank you, Sonny. It's not set up. All right. So could you type it, Serenity? Can I call out? I mean, not without ending the stream. Um, Trying to see if there's a way. By the way, guys, I think a lot of good information from Pop tonight. I want to really get this information tonight. If anybody wants to like, share it, that'd be awesome. If you're not subscribed, it's a pretty good channel. Light crosses. Yep, I know what that is. No, you guys can hear me, right? I didn't. Did I mess up the audio? I just wasn't talking. I was reading. Can you guys hear me? Well, you know what? If anybody knows a channel that's talking about this right now, we can put it on. I can put it on, and I could just broadcast, and we can just get the news live together. You could do that too. So, Becca says, I heard about them using the LiDAR, but not about them used to fuck up the electrical. I heard it was to find silver, gold, and other precious metals, which is actually in my stream before last. I was talking about that because I was anticipating fires in Northern California, and I've covered. If you guys have heard of the dam up there, the Oroville Dam. I talked to like the utmost expert and had a two shows over 2 weeks, and she was talking about how YouTube lidar Southern California, and she was talking about under the Oroville Dam. There's actually a bunch of gold, and she was thinking that was part of the reason why they were doing to the spillway what they were doing. Um, so here we go. So we got the lidar, but it's all from like 2 days ago or years ago. Nothing recent. I mean, obviously this is like breaking right now. Um, do you have another word I could add into that? All right. First of all, what is lidar? Yeah, it's a land grab, and guess what's under that Orville Dam? Straight gold, homie. That's what's under there. And what a coincidence! It was built the way it was. Um, it's supposed to be protecting everybody. Yet, um, yeah, I know a lot about the Orville Dam. I did 2 long shows on that. But supposedly there's a bunch of gold underneath. So screw it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all over the world. It looks like we're still having problems out in California with the PG&E cut power.
Uh,
The map that I showed you yesterday is no longer active. So I found another map that's still less general, but it shows a big hot spot and then it shows some smaller areas. A lot of people are on YouTube saying we don't have any wind gusts. I don't know what they're doing. This just doesn't make sense. But truthfully, there's a lot of tools, and here's one right here. That you can pull up that shows wind gusts all over the world. And so I zoomed in on San Francisco area. San
oh, you
Francisco
got
right
the
here by
flight
this little
paths.
hand down here, and then this
Hey,
is
you know what? I
supposed to
mean,
be like
if
a
you want to
mountain
send me
range
all that
down, but you can
stuff,
see how the winds are all
I will just
piling up
like
right in this
do
area. And down at the
another
bottom
stream.
is,
I could like study
let me
it
move this
quick
out of
and
the
like
way, is miles per
absorb it
hour.
and
So
do
if you
another
see this
stream.
dark purpley area, there's
Unless
some
I can
areas
find
up
this
here that are into
fucking
70
phone.
miles per hour. So there are winds, and even in this orange area down here, these are probably like 43 to 47 miles an hour
Holy
right in this
shit.
range. So there is
I
some
wonder what
tremendous wind
whoa,
right
so
now.
that
This
purple
is
is
10
like
to 11.
70 miles an
Now,
hour
let me,
winds?
I'm going to hit this. This has an animation to
By
it.
Chico?
See if it works.
And that's where the Orwell Dam is.
So
Is
this
that
is showing
real?
Friday.
Is
You can
that
see how the
no
wind's all the
way?
way down.
70 miles an hour?
Let's back up again.
That's not that doesn't even make sense.
So this is like 10 to 5. So let's see what. Oh, this is the 10th. I see. Oh, never mind. That's October 10th, and that's 5 p.m. Here's 8 p.m. Now that's California time.
So
So
this is on
right
the
now
10th. This
this
is
is
when the
the
fires
10th.
actually like
So
went
it'd be
off.
3 o'clock. Right in this range is where they're actually got some of the peak winds right now. Um, so 5 o'clock. This will be a couple hours from now. and it looks like 8 o'clock their time, which would be 11 o'clock, 5 hours from now. That's when things start calming down, it looks like. But those are still pretty heavy winds, even at Friday 2 a.m. In this region right here. That's in the 40 miles an hour. So there, it looks like by the
Yo, I'm gonna
time
check her
Friday
purse real
evening,
quick.
this is gone. So I want you to
Normally, I do
realize,
not touch
be careful what
purse
you see
because
on
I
the
know
internet.
better than touch a. She's where is the purse? Let's see. Um, Amanda, you know where the phone is, babe? Please. Is it in your purse? Huh? No? Are you sure? So you just have no idea where it is? Ah, man. Sorry, guys. Do you know where your purse is? Huh? You in the bedroom? She's half out of it.
Cigarettes out the windows, causing problems.
Because they,
There's been
she
problems
stopped the pain
like
meds from the
logging
surgery.
equipment causing issues,
Oh,
electric
man.
faults for facilities, electric plants, electric lines like what just happened. All of these things can happen and
Shit.
are a large percentage, so 90%, the fires are caused by humans. But there's also
Okay, so I'm
natural
gonna set
causes.
this up
We
real
have
quick
lightning.
and look. That way you guys
Lightning
don't have to walk
happens,
around looking with
unfortunately. I
me.
mean, I've been out fishing before and I've taken refuge underneath the bridge and I saw lightning hit a roof probably less than 100 yards away from me. And a big puff of smoke came up and we watched it carefully to see if it was going to catch fire, but it did not. But I mean, it was a massive strike on this one house, probably destroyed all their electronics in the house. But lightning has tremendous power. And, they talk about volcanic eruptions and a couple other things, but you need to be
Just wanna make sure
aware
it's a
of
good
this is a
angle.
difficult thing. And California, especially, has a problem in that they have not been doing periodic burns. And so that makes them very susceptible to this issue. And again, being a fairly dry state makes it even more. And I forgot to bring it up, but they are believers in this carbon sequestration, and what that means is they don't believe
Alright,
in
I'm gonna
burning
take a quick
because
look
you're
for this.
releasing, carbon dioxide back into the air. Even though it's a trace element, they want to believe that's a cause of global warming and everything else. So this religion is what's,
Yeah, that's
killing their
bullshit.
state and forcing them to have
That's
just
bullshit.
tremendous duration power outages for not even having, a true cause except for preventative only. So this is going to be problematic for them to try to live in an environment with intermittent electricity. Now, I was watching a lot of videos where people were freaking out because these helicopters have this thing on the bottom of it. So PG&E has been using helicopters similar to this, where they will go along and scan their the power distribution from the power plants out into the mountainous areas and looking for clearances. And a lot of people are thinking, oh my God, they're sitting here looking inside our houses. They're, trying to find bunkers. They're trying to find people that are on solar or completely off the grid. This is an invasion of our privacy. But again, it's just pure ignorance because LIDAR is strictly a laser. It can't penetrate the ground. It can't penetrate into your house. It's strictly taking a laser where it shoots it and then it measures the time it takes for the reflection to come back, and then it can calculate distances, and it can give you a three-dimensional uh, view of, and this is an example of this. So it's showing a power line traversing here, and you can actually see, this is trees, and it's showing the clearance, and then you can calculate distances to make sure it's separated properly, and it's a fantastic capability. They use this lidar for a lot of different purposes. It's used in geology. It's used in a lot of different things. If you just look it up on Wikipedia, it has a very good discussion of all the different things that lidar can be used for. It's airplanes can be hooked on it. It's kind of a neat, powerful capability. I just think that people need to step back, think about getting proper information instead of jumping to conclusions. California is in a difficult situation because they've kind of put themselves that way. Yeah, here's some of the things where they're talking about law enforcement, military, mining, physics, and astronomy. They can actually even detect uh, particles in the atmosphere. So that's kind of cool too. And it'll tell you, how much particles, and it's just based on the backscatter. It can't really tell you what the particles are. That's another instrument that would be required, but it's a powerful capability. So I just want you to be aware. It looks like they're still in their major winds. It probably takes quite a bit of time to
All
carefully
right,
bring the
guys.
power down because remember, power plants, they
Unfortunately,
usually
I'm
have to
I'm
be
not finding it, and I'm not getting
shut
much
down
help.
in a certain sequence. There isn't
And
just an on-off switch like your
there's only
car.
so much I
They
can
have to
really
slowly
like
bring it
pressure
down.
her.
It takes quite a while to bring it down.
Um,
They'll have to bring on new load. It's kind of like in your house. If you had a significant power
yeah, I
outage,
know. You
you
kind
know,
of,
you
I
might have to
know.
throw new
He's just reading
AC on
from
to try to keep
Wikipedia.
it safe.
I know.
Kind of like your
Unless you
house.
guys have like a
If
better
you
idea
have
for a
a
search,
voltage, it's not going to be all the
like
way
what's a
up.
good
First, you
search?
want to heat sensitive things first, like your
Oh, you watch
stove.
Jonathan Clark, Moonchild?
After
Yeah, I watch him.
if you have a meter, that'd be the best way to kind of monitor the voltage.
I
And
watch
then when
him.
it's stabilized, then you can start turning on your AC and everything else.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna
They
leave her be.
do something similar to that. Now let's go
Um,
look at our precious
NASA
metals.
airplane.
First thing I did is I brought up the gold and
Let's
silver
see,
charts.
let's see, let's
And I just
sneeze.
want to look at them over a different period. And I'm seeing something that's not so good.
So,
We're actually starting to
what was he
see
talking about?
lower
Bigfoot?
highs and lower lows. That's not something you want to see. It's kind of come up and it did that before. So we want to see this thing break out to a new high. If it doesn't, then it struggles and falls back down. That's not a good situation. Same thing with silver. You see the same thing. And, all right, let's look at our miners today. Well, here's the physicals today. So gold was down
The
0.87.
stream is
Silver was
real
at
time.
0.39.
What we were just watching is not. It's from yesterday, I believe.
Overall,
Serenity,
gold
do you have a
was
better
down
search?
7.13. When we look at the ETF
Let me see. You know
portfolio,
what?
it eked out a gain of 0.13.
YouTube,
Looks like
LiDAR,
DCA and SIL were the winners.
DUMS.
This is the crude portfolio. It
Oh,
was up
shit.
0.23, and it's just continuing to gain. Every
YouTube,
day, it's getting
LiDAR,
more return than the ETF portfolio
DUMS,
by itself.
Southern
Really
California.
impressive little portfolio. Let's see the
Yeah, it's
things
not
that
gonna.
did well
I'm just gonna
today.
have to type it in.
Nickel mining
YouTube.
was up 1%. Um,
Phone couch. No, it's her phone, so you know. She's like half out of it. Like I was like, so where's your phone? Where's your charger? She was like, it's in the wall. And I went to the wall, and I'm like, she's like, but then she forgot what I was asking about, and yeah, they got her on heavy stuff. Um, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna search something more particular. Fire in. That's what say gutters. Okay, fire. Should I put fire in gutters? Southern California, or maybe LiDAR. Let's see. I think fire and gutters, Southern California, will probably give me the best results. Unless you think there's something better. I can't even see just from putting fire in. They tell them how they can't see. Wildfires in Southern California force over 100,000. It sounds like out of their homes. High winds accelerate two deadly wildfires. And that was 21 hours ago. These are all a long time ago. All right, so let's get to this. Fire in. Okay. Sorry I have to do it like this. This will probably be the last time I have to do it like this. It should be all set up this long weekend. Fire and gutters. There's a song called Fire and Gutters, of course. There's always, like, whenever I'm looking up something weird, there's always a song with the same name. It's exactly what I'm looking up. Um, so weird. That always happens, no matter how random it is. Southern California. Lincoln. All right, guys. I'm just gonna go look at this real quick just to check the like what the actual like video or article is called, so I can look it up right now. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't it. Okay. Um, oh wait, there it is. Because then all of a sudden smoke starts billowing out of there as well. So this is nuts. This is crazy. So um, yeah, they don't want me talking about this. Um, they don't want me talking about this. All right, so you know what? If you guys want to check it out, you know what? Let me just try one thing. I'm just gonna try to actually like type this in the way I saw it. We gotta be able to find it on here. Um, and if I can't find it that way, then I just, I wasn't prepared for this. I just thought this was gonna be a quick thing. Um, Let me see. Yeah, it's all old videos. That's another thing. Like when you have like the same situation happen so many times, it's hard to even find footage, like the footage you really want. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything even recent, which is weird. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay. Unless if somebody has a if you have, do you have you can you put it on your channel? Yeah, I looked at the link, Serenity. That was crazy. Like nuts. Yeah, no, I saw it. That's crazy. I just looked at it when I was gone. Um, do you do you have a channel where you can post on your channel? Because I can pull it up right here. Yeah, it's nuts. So it's like yeah, yeah, Egypt. Um, isn't he say he's doing like a private screen or something? But yeah, if you have like a channel, I could pull it up like that. Normally, I mean, this is like the way I used to be like my first 2 weeks when I was just on the phone. But the computer's not set up at all. And do you have a channel you can try? Yeah, if you could try to like just if you just like hit upload, um, yeah, that should work. No, I'm thinking of it. Yeah, it should work. I'm gonna try to upload.